Okay, we're gonna switch in Hippo here. Oh, it just keeps happening. What is up, everyone? Today I'll be showcasing my favorite lineup for the Master League Premier Classic. It's kind of spicy, and when I originally created it, it was meant as more of a meme, but then it ended up doing so well that I got 15 positive sets in a row, and I climbed a ton a couple seasons ago when Master League Premier Classic was last around, but I tried it again today, and it's still working very well in this season too. The stars of this team are Primarina and Hippodown, which I am running with some pretty surprising movesets. Instead of Charm on Primarina, I got Waterfall, because it turns Primarina from a specialist dragon counter into more of a generalist, which can also put up a fight versus steel types, especially Excadrill, which you now beat. Hippodown got Thunder Fang on it instead of Ice Fang, which, well, I'll let the footage speak for itself. Alright, we're actually gonna dip out of here. So I don't want them to know I do not have Charm. Look, this is why I run Thunderfang. That is why you run Thunderfang. That is why you run Thunderfang, okay? That is why you run Thunderfang. Oh. People just really expect you to have Ice Fang on it, and once they figure out it's actually Thunderfang, it's usually already too late. I'm afraid that posting this video will cause it to be less of a surprise, which is why I kept the squad a secret for a while, but I had so many fun battles with this squad, I couldn't just not share it, so here we are. If you end up enjoying this video, please leave a like and a subscribe so I know sharing it has been all worth it. Anyway, we're just gonna head into these battles. First game, we lead the tokens, and usually I switch it to Hippo here because I do have two better answers to this in the back. And like you saw earlier, they just switch their Gyarados in, expecting the Ice Fang. They get surprised with the Thunder Fang. Hippo can actually just farm all the way down here, usually right before they get to another Aqua Tail. Bye bye. In comes a Snorlax now, which we can hit with a nerf power. Hippo doesn't have the highest attack, and Snorlax is very bulky, so it's not going to do much, but it does a reasonable chunk. Now we got Primarina on Snorlax. Snorlax is actually a very annoying Pokemon for this team. It does like quite well versus everything. It's like slightly neutral winning versus everything, so it's very doable, but in general it's kind of annoying to deal with since everything just doesn't do good enough for it. But with teamwork, it's fine. We get a Psychic off there, which takes a shield, and at this point, I know I can just win with Excadrill. Actually switching their tokens here, which makes this easier. I was kind of afraid I was gonna have to bring in Excadrill versus Snorlax right there, and then they could have potentially called a drill run on Togekiss, which would have made this quite rough. But since they switched their Togekiss here, I can just throw Rock Slide, farm up as much as possible, and then have a drill run loaded for the Snorlax. They do have some energy on that Lax, but if I just have one drill run loaded, I know I'm gonna be able to reach two to burn the shield and knock it out before they reach two body slams. So just throw out max energy. In comes the Snorlax now, and I know I'm safely gonna be able to get to two runs. We throw the first here, which is likely gonna get shielded. Actually, my opponent knows it's over, so they let it go. GG. Next up is a Metagross lead. Even with Waterfall, that's not great, so I switch into my Hippo, and again, they switch into a Gyarados this time. It's Waterfall, it's doing super effective damage, but it's still very fine for me. Get on my Weather Ball here, take a shield, and now all I have to do is shield one Aqua Tail, and I can farm down before they get to the next. Master League Premier Classic can be kind of a rock, paper, scissors format, which means switch advantage is huge, and generally it's quite hard to get it. This is where I really like Hippodown, because it's able to get switch advantage in just situations where it really shouldn't get it, just by surprise, which is just very fun and really good actually in this meta. Anyway, out comes a Snorlax, and I've already chipped it so much now. Primarina should be able to deal with this Lax, and then Excadrill should be fine versus the Metagross. There is a bit of energy though, but yeah, I should be able to outpace here. I don't throw my Duran. I'm just gonna farm up to two. Should be alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna shield this. Even if they Meteor Mash, I'm fine, because I can get to two Durans before they get to two Meteor Mashers, I'm quite sure. Throw my Duran. Yeah, they concede the match. No, it's over. GG's. All right, Dragonite is actually worse for Waterfall Primarina than Charm, of course. But they don't know. They don't know I don't have Charm. So they switch in Snorlax. Even with the Waterfall, you beat Dragonite, by the way. So it makes sense. It's just less, like, consistent, of course. Anyway, I don't really have a very solid response to Snorlax. I usually Moonblast before switching out into my Hippo here. I generally just try to get shield advantage on Excadrill for these matches with Dragonite lead, as most Dragonite leads have Excadrill in the back. And I can kind of beat that line with Excadrill with my Excadrill, since Excadrill with a shield advantage of course beats their Excadrill and should be fine against Dragonite as well. Though this season it's a little harder to do that, since of course Dragonite does have superpower, which isn't great. They're gonna switch it in now. I'm gonna go for the Weather Ball, but I barely don't reach it. That's kind of unfortunate, since I kind of need that Weather Ball to put it in range for Rock Slide to knock it out. So I'm just gonna bring in my Primarina now. They have to throw Super out here to knock me out, or go for 2 Dragon Claws, which that's what they decide to do. That's super fine with me, as I'll be able to get to a Moonblast here. Never mind, I'm actually gonna let this go. It's another Dragon Claw. This will take me out, but that's fine. Bring in my Excadrill here. They're now in Rock Slide range, so I can just shoot up everything this Dragonite has to throw. And then just go for the Rock Slides. Even get to this Rock Slide before they even throw a move, which is great. I actually think they're gonna Dragon Claw, but you know, I might as well shield. It's just a safe call. They do Dragon Claw, but that's fine. I'm gonna reach another Rock Slide before the next move. They actually switch into Metagross though, trying to catch it. I was kind of patient there with my move, since I was expecting a catch, and luckily that pays off as I do bring in the Metagross. I'm gonna go for double Druron here, since I know I'm still gonna be able to reach a Rock Slide versus that Dragonite. Even if they have a move stored now, I was expecting them to maybe have a move stored. So this felt safer instead of just farming down, as Dragonite does win the CMP versus Excadrill. I'm gonna shoot this up. It's definitely just a Dragon Claw, but it's fine. Dragon Claw will do a lot versus Excadrill. And I get to my next Rock Slide before that move. The Snorlax is still alive though, and has a little bit of energy. I have to be able to Mudshot this down before a Superpower, and I do. GG. Alright, next match. Excadrill lead. Now with Waterfall, this has become a pretty good matchup. They switch in their Dragonite versus my Primarina, and I make a huge mistake. I forget that Dragonite has superpower, and I switch in my Excadrill. This is actually not a good matchup for Excadrill these days, with superpower Dragonite. Lucky for me though, they actually throw a Dragon Claw, and I call it, which makes which flips this matchup in my favor actually. I'm gonna be able to throw another Rock Slide here. At this point I'm feeling pretty good. I'm gonna shield this move up, throw another Rock Slide. I'm expecting them to shield, and if they do shield, that's very fine with me, since then I can just farm this down with Primarina. I have energy for whatever's in the back, and Hippo with shields down is still fine versus the Excadrill too, since I can nerf power it. In comes the Excadrill right now though, since they let it go. I now get my Primarina aligned to this. You know, Waterfall in Master League just doesn't do too much damage, since everything has so much health. They're actually going to be able to get to some more Durons after this, but they actually decide to switch into Garchomp. This is where not having Charm kind of hurts. This is not a great matchup, since I bring Waterfall, but it's kind of fine. I'm really hoping I can get to another Psychic, but I won't be able to, and this is just really bad. Now, Hippodown won't be able to take out the Garchomp and the Excadrill, so I'm pretty sure that after this move, I end up just leaving the match, as it is definitely over. GG's. Alright, another Excadrill lead. Again, this is really good for Waterfall Primarina, and they bring in a Gyarados, which is, again, quite good for Waterfall Primarina. Since they have a Waterfall, Gyarados is actually less good than versus Dragon Breath, but it's still a winning matchup for sure. I should have maybe switched into Hippodown already. The thing is, if I switch after they've already done one Waterfall, they're gonna get the 2 Aqua Tails versus my Hippodown, which is definitely not ideal. And I was really hoping to get the 2 Psychics here. So, but I don't, because I get knocked out. So not great. I think I should be quicker on the switch there. I could have used the shield there and gone into a Psychic versus Gyarados, but the problem with that is, if they let that Psychic go, they have an Excadrill with a shield, with a shield and an energy lead, because they'd be able to farm down my Primarina and then probably take out both my Excadrill and my Hippodown, which just isn't great. We're gonna go for a Weather Ball on this Dragonite now. And now I bring in my Excadrill, hoping to get the energy lead, and I do get an energy lead right now. They switch in their own. At this point, I'm looking kind of fine. Their Excadrill is kind of close to a move, but I'll be able to take it out. before they take both shields off of me, which is great. I'm gonna CMP with me here. That's okay. I'm just gonna shoot this up, take out the extra drill, and I should be able to get to the rock slide versus their Dragonite to take it out. Yeah, take out the drill. There's Dragonite. Probably won't reach 2 moves. Yeah, they're not even gonna throw because they're not that 2. And this might not knock out. This might barely not knock out. Okay, it does. GG's right there. Next game, we have a Haxorus, which is actually not that great for Waterfall Primarina. So I'm kind of glad they switch out, as I really need to get shields down here in order to be able to Moonblast the Haxorus later. So Snorlax comes in. I'm just going to go for the Moonblast, hoping to grab a shield here. Then I'm going to bring in my Hippo. I could also consider going straight into Hippo, into Snorlax switches, but Snorlax is pretty even versus Hippo, and if they are able to flip switch, they can get their Haxorus aligned to my extra drill, which I really don't want to happen. And another plan I have here is if I just farm up a ton with Hippo, even if I have to use a shield, I'll be able to Earth Power the Haxorus, which is quite helpful. I could have thrown my Earth Power there already to knock out the Snorlax, but I think it's more valuable if I just shield up this Body Slam, use a shield here, and then throw a Weather Ball into the Snorlax. This also allows the Haxorus to get less farm on my Hippodown, since I have less health. And I already have an Earth Power stored, which hopefully takes a shield. I'm not expecting it to take a shield though, since, well, they're more worried about a Moonblast from Primarina. So they know shield that does do a decent chunk though. Might be able to farm it out with Prima now. To bring in a Metagross though into my Primarina. Not great. Bring in my extra drill. This, I think I should have thrown my Juran. My thought process here was they always get to the Earthquake before I can knock them out with Juran. Because Juran does do enough. But they did take a Waterfall damage, which does more than Mudshot. So I probably could have thrown immediately there and maybe saved the shield. Still, that wouldn't have been very valuable though. I think the thing I messed up here is that I needed more energy. I could have undercharged the Juran and have more energy stored to hit this Haxorus. And if I had more energy stored, this Haxorus would have been able to charge up less, which means it wouldn't have been able to get to as many charge moves here. It's actually going to get to a Dragon here. They should really go for Night Slash since it's single resisted versus Dragon which is double resisted. But it's not going to matter. They get to another move and they knock me out. Because they had so much energy. Again, if I just undercharge that Juran a little better, I get more Mudshots in, I'll be able to get to my second Juran versus the Haxorus earlier, which means I either take them out or they have to throw their move earlier, which means they have less energy, and then I can probably Waterfall them down. So not optimally played by me, but still quite a close game. Anyway, Gyarados lead is quite good for me. Actually really good for me, especially with Dragon Breath. They're staying in though, which is kind of worrying. Since they're staying in, I think, looking back at this, I probably should have switched in Hippo right now. Yeah, after this Psychic, probably switch in Hippo right now would probably be the optimal play. But I end up staying in. Gonna throw another Crunch. My defense falls, which is not ideal, but I'm still able to get to the Psychic, which is nice. After this, I'll switch in my Hippo. I still feel kind of confident. Actually, I switch in my extra drill because I can get to a move here earlier. I'm still feeling kind of confident about this match though, since I'm expecting their own extra drill on the back, and as long as I have like an energy lead versus it, I can just knock it out with a Juran. Like Gyarados, Snorlax, extra drills are very common comp, so I'm kind of confident it is that line. Juran, the Snorlax. What do they bring in now? Probably the Gyarados. They'll bring in the Gyarados. Just gonna throw this Rock Slide immediately, expecting them to shield this. Now I was considering no shielding this and farming down with Hippo, but I knew I was going to get to another Rock Slide. The problem is, though, I'm expecting them to catch my Rock Slide. So I'm actually going to build up the Rock Slide, switch to Hippo, expecting the catch, but they stay in with Gyarados. And then they bring in Avalugg versus my Hippo. If I just threw my Rock Slide into the Gyarados, it would have been down, and I would have had my extra drill on this Avalugg now. Would have been much better. Now I'll be able to get to another Weather Ball. But the thing is, Gyarados already has a move stored. So I'm gonna have to exit this matchup with a move stored on my extra drill. I cannot throw a move right now. I have to farm up to double for this to be even possible. But they get to an Avalanche here. Take me out. And that is a GG. Very fun line by my opponent there. To finish off the video, we got one of my favorite battles from the day. We get a Florges lead here. I switch in my Hippo. They switch in Shadow. Gyarados with Waterfall. This is so fine. I'm gonna be able to get to the Weather Ball here. This will knock out unless they shoot it up, which they do. But that just means I can shoot up their move. Farm them all the way down. And then we get switch advantage. At that point, they know it's over. They concede the match, just like we are gonna concede this video right now. Thanks everyone for watching. See you in the next one. Good luck with your battles, trainers.